Okay, so this week we're going to take and turn our models into two-dimensional multi-view drawings like we've done before. So the first thing you want to do after you create the part, save it, right, is come up here and we're going to create a new drawing, and we'll just use the standard template here, and we can make edits to that as we go. So here we have a sheet that is all on there, the title block and everything, excuse me. So first of all, let me go up and show you that where you can go into styles editor, and the book will walk you through a lot of this stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I'm not really going to make any changes, but this is where you go and you can make changes to how everything looks and the styles. So you can see things like unit, oh man, text, all sorts of things we can do here, balloon, center mark ideas. You can go in, you can make all sorts of changes. Probably the thing you'll do most often, and I'll show you how to do this in different ways, probably mess around with the dimensions and maybe text sizes and things of that nature. So I'll let you go around and play around with that. Again, that's in the Manage ribbon under Styles Editor, and the book will walk you through a lot of that. Okay. Also notice over here you've got another one of the model trees like we had with the part drawings or the parts. Okay, and it's got some standard styles that you could use if you wanted to. It's got some different borders that you can use, different title blocks. I'll actually show you how to do some of those. Okay, you can just kind of go in, play around with a lot of this stuff. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am gonna change the title block, and so I'll go ahead and delete this one here. Okay, off of my sheet. Okay, I'm going to leave the default border, but you could do the same thing with that. I'm going to go into the sheet and I'm going to go ahead, right click on it and select edit sheet. This will bring up certain things, right? So this is a D-sized paper, which is 22 by 34. You can do lots of different ones like A size. This is kind of your standard 8.5 by 11 if you wanted to draw this one on there. You can switch portrait or landscape. I'm going to go ahead and leave landscape. You can do some different things here and go ahead and click enter. Now I've got an 8.5 by 11. And the reason I changed my title block, I probably should have left that on there, is because with that title block on that large sheet of paper, it would have taken up a great deal of a letter size sheet. So I can go ahead and add in a title block here. I'm going to go ahead and do ANSI A, which is for an A size sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11, and insert that. And this is much smaller than the large one would have been. So again, you can play around with different things over here, add, subtract, edit, all sorts of things like that. So once you have this, and again, you can leave the default is fine if you want to use A size, whatever. I just want to show you kind of how to do that. Whatever you do is probably fine. Okay, but we'll go ahead and start placing our views. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my base view. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you're using the part that you have, which I do here. Okay, but if you have several parts open, make sure you grab the part that you're looking for. Okay, and you can see I've got the part here. I can grab, place it wherever I want to. If it's too big, I can change the scale. If you want to use a default, like I could do like a 3/8 scale, maybe that's actually better. Oops, not a 3 times scale, a 3/8 scale. I'll go with that one. You can set with the scale. You're going to want to go with hidden lines, but you can alter the views, do different things as you place this, and go ahead and one other thing, that is the view that I want as my front view, but if you can always rotate this thing around until you get the views that you're looking for. Or you can rotate this way, just kind of play around, get the view that you want as your front view, and you can go ahead and place it and click OK like that. So once I get that one placed in there, then I can come up here and select my projected views. Okay. Now the first thing I need to do is, okay, well, what view am I projecting off of? So I'll select my front view. Okay. And then you just go above it, you go to the right of it. And in fact, you can come up here and I'll put it kind of, we'll move it around. I'll show you how to move it around a little bit. I'll put it way up here in the corner like this. Okay, and you can get an isometric view, which is nice, not necessary, but nice to have. Okay, once you get them all placed, you can just right click and hit create, and you've got these guys. Now I can move these around again, which might be necessary after you get them placed. Notice as I move the front view, it moves the other views along with me. Okay, and I can can move close, back, whatever I want. I'm going to move this one down just a little bit. You can mess those around. You can do the same thing with this guy, but this guy will move independently. Okay. One other thing you can do with any view is you can go in and edit view, and you can mess with the scale and things of that nature. One thing the book shows you how to do this, and I agree with this. Go ahead and turn off the tangent edges. That is this line right here, and it's going to get rid of that, which is how it should be. You shouldn't see that edge there. Okay. But again, with any of these views, you can go in and you can edit the view, bring this window back open. And again, you can play around with different things on it like that. So now, you want to be careful when doing this, okay? But there's a good reason to do this, okay? Which is you can right-click on this and select retrieve model annotations. And basically, this is going to automatically put in the dimensions. Now, you want to be careful. You may have accidentally deleted a dimension that it wasn't going to bring in. It may add some weird dimensions that you don't like. You want to make sure, again, to follow because we're creating that drawing. So we want to do that. What's the word I'm looking for? We want to follow all of the dimensioning rules on this and use what is appropriate for these rules. Okay, so if maybe you put in a radius and it's giving you a diameter or vice versa, you're going to want to make those changes and follow all of the rules. But you put these in here, and I'll tell you why you're going to do this in a little bit when I get to something else. But it is a good idea to do it this way, and a lot of it has to do where if you make changes. Okay, so then obviously you want to kind of move these guys around. Okay, and put it where you want. Okay, I'm not a big fan of how that placed on there. Okay, and again, here's one where I've got the diameter, so I'm going to delete that just by hitting the delete button, and then I can replace it. Okay, just by going to general dimension, and I get this guy right here. Okay, now this guy, I'm not a big fan of how it's placed on there either, so I'm going to delete this guy as well. Okay. Oops, escape a little bit, delete this guy. Okay, and again, just do general dimension, and you'll notice it's smart enough to know, okay, what's what there. Okay, so I want to move these guys. Okay, and this is an over dimension right here, right? Because this 4 and this radius tell me the same thing. So I'm going to actually delete this one. So this is what I'm talking about. Don't just blindly do it, okay? It's going to make for some challenges moving forward. And maybe, this 2 maybe should be dimensioned over here. Again, follow those rules and do things as best you can. But you can always come in and you can place dimensions. For example, I think if I come up here, what if I go retrieve dimensions here and hit apply? See, now if I put these dimensions in there, okay, but again, a lot of these are over dimensioned objects. So for example, this guy's got to go, this guy's got to go, this guy's got to go, but we can place these dimensions. Oops, well, I deleted that one. Maybe it should have been there. Anyway, you get the idea, and you can always come back in again, place your own dimensions just like we did previously. Again, following all of those rules and making sure everything is where it needs to be. Okay, you'll want to come in and place center marks. So you click here to do a center mark where you can do, the circles like that, do the outer circle like that to extend the things. We want to do center line bisectors, which is right here, and you just click the 2 center lines to get that center line going through the middle, like so. So click those 2 lines to put those in there. That's how we do those center line bisectors. Okay. If you want to add text, you can just click text here, and let's say you have, and then where you want to put it, and then, rounds and fillets, whatever. I don't have any here, but let's just say 0.25, right? So you could have that, put that down there, okay? And things of that nature. Now I can do different things, if I don't like the text size, I can right click on this, and I think I go into edit text style, and it should open that window, I think. My computer froze up a little bit. Here it comes. Okay, and I can go in and change my text height, right, to 0.2 or whatever, save and close, and it makes the text height, and it does it for the entire thing. So, be aware of that. All of those texts that I've added are bigger now. I'm not a big fan of that, but you can go in and easily change that just by right clicking on them. Okay. You can come in and change the precision on something by right clicking on it, say do the precision, I want to go out to 3 decimal points, things of that nature, right? So again, I'd rather do it this way than go into that styles editor, click on something that you're like, I don't like the size of this, and make changes to the size. Again, it can be a little frustrating, things of that nature. Okay. To fill in this, we looked at this earlier, the title block. Again, you go into, I believe it's in here, under the file menu, you go down to iProperties, okay? And then you can come over here to like the summary and call it, part, uh, author is Mark, company is UW, what have you, apply, and close, and you can see it puts in those numbers and stuff like that. So you can do that again under the iProperties is the best way to get that filled in. And then that's a little bit different than how they do it in the book. So you may want to look at that as far as how to fill that in. One other thing, okay, if I come over here and I make a change, okay, and let's say I make a change to, let's edit the sketch, okay, and I make a change to this dimension here and make it a 3-inch hole instead. Okay, and I finish that sketch, it'll update here. The nice thing is it'll automatically update over here too, and you see it's got 3. Now, remember, if you remember, I deleted the dimension off this and then replaced it. I think, so in something like this, if I double click to, sorry, if I right click on it, okay, it won't let me change the dimension here because that is not, I didn't retrieve those annotations. That annotation was there. I didn't like the way it looked, so I undid it. Okay, so that's why we do the retrieve annotations. And if you ever try to make a change in here and it doesn't work, that's why. Now this one, I believe, was one that we retrieved. And if I right click on it here, you can see that yeah, edit model dimension. There it is right there. Okay. And I can change this to like 5 inches, and you see it'll make it taller there. And if I come back to my multi-view, it's taller over here too. So you have this, the two files kind of talk to each other. But the only way you can do that from here is if you do that retrieve annotations for that. If it's anything you've added manually, you're not going to be able to do it. But you can always come over here, make changes, and it'll update it over here automatically. So a lot of times it's better to make changes in the part, but if you're able to, you can do it in there. But again, you have to do that by retrieving those annotations. So that's how we create a 2D multi-view drawing. Some of the things, the book will walk you through some other stuff, maybe a little bit more slowly than I did. It goes through some 3D stuff. You can go ahead and skip that. I only care about the 2D drawings at this point. So you'll save these, and now moving forward, I want you to upload and turn in these two-dimensional drawings as opposed to those part files. That's what you'll turn in moving forward. So good luck, follow the book, and let me know if you have any questions.